Mic is on. Please rise for a pledge to the U.S. and Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all very much. We began the meeting at 5 minutes after 10. Today is the 15th day of August. I'd like to certify that all members of the court are present and that we have a quorum. I'd like to read the agenda item, please, if I may. Today is a special meeting.
It is special.
Huh?
It is special.
Special meeting.
Any day I'm here with you, Judge, is special.
Well, by definition, it's a special meeting.
I've heard that before.
Every day is special. Discuss and consider proposal for 2018-2019 tax rate for Nueces County Farm to Market, and Nueces County Hospital District. We have a presentation by Kristen and by the auditor, and then we'll take a vote. Okay. A record vote. Thank you. Yes.
We get to have discussion still, right?
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it. 2 minutes.
Even to 3 minutes.
I can't even, anyway, I can't cough for 2 minutes.
Okay, go ahead, Kristen.
Okay, good morning. So this morning, we're bringing to the court a proposed tax rate, and as of right now, based on our discussions, the proposal would to bring a proposed tax rate of .316338 for the fiscal year ending 2018-2019. And this is
Do you have that put up on the screen, please? Thank you. We'd like to make this as transparent as we can. Here we go.
Okay, it's on screen now, Judge.
Thank you.
As Christian said, this is the information is also part of this is the information we provided you on Monday where you received the calculation of the effective tax rate and the maximum rollback rate. That information is provided on this schedule as well as our prior year annual proposed annual adopted rate from prior year. As Kristen said, the proposed tax rate is .316338. That is the general fund .268163. The debt service rate, which was the prior rate, is .44276, and the road fund also has the prior year's rate is .003899. That's what we've had through the discussion of the budget workshops we've had, and that's what we've been asked to propose for court discussion.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that number?
So the total number is .316338. Would you like the individual breakdown?
Hold on, 316338. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and so that general fund number, which is the .268163, that does represent a 1.5 cent increase above the effective rate for the general fund. And then, as Dale stated, the debt service fund and the road fund that are being proposed are not at the effective rate, but are at the current adopted rate.
Of last year's current rate for the debt service and the road fund.
So we're going up on that one too.
Yes.
Questions?
Yeah, I don't know. It's effective and current. I mean, we're just saying this is what can happen to each one of them. I mean, you keep saying both of them at one time, but I guess we can get either or, right?
You can choose however you want. We've been asked to propose now. Remember, on the debt service and the general fund are combined in calculation for rates.
Okay.
Remember, Estrada and Hosa came in and told us that the debt service rate and our debt service fund balance was in a very troubling time, that we should maintain a .44276 rate for the debt service. and that's what we're proposing, which was last year's adopted rate.
And
But
what's
if you look right above it, you'll see what is proposed as the effective rate for the debt service.
the 1 cent on the effective, but what's the,
No, the 1.5 cent is only on the general fund M&O rate. So if you went .253163, which is the effective rate above it, add 1.15, you would get the .268163.
what's the total, I'm sorry, Dale, what's the total now?
Right there on the screen.
I mean, well, I'm asking Dale anyway, what's the total here? I'm still confused on what those,
The total proposed rate is .316338. And it combines those three at the bottom, which is your general fund,
okay,
.268163,
got you now.
which is the 1.5 cent above the effective rate of the general fund, M&O. Debt service of .44276, and the road fund of .003899, for a total of .316338. Proposed,
So they're all going up.
yes.
Okay. Mr. Chesney.
Judge, and I just asked Kristen, because I just got this and I was just looking at it. We haven't really, as a court, gone department by department. We've really gone more kind of as a general overview, which is fine. And I'm trying to figure out if this is still the right information. And it's basically, it's a general fund budget amounts, 2016, from CAFR actuals, the variance, and then it talks about
Put that on the screen.
what the proposed are. I just have it.
I wasn't provided that.
Sorry, I just got it. And before I wanted to ask a bunch of questions on this, I want to make sure this is what it is, because there's some departments in here, according to this, but again, I don't know if this was what was proposed and then y'all whittled it down from here. I'm not really sure, but there's some departments on here that have some humongous increases in them. And so I wanted to ask, no increases. They're asking for lots of increases in their budget. And so I was going to ask questions about this, but I don't want to spend a lot of time if this is inaccurate information.
It's the information that I got off the CAFR. It's true information. That's where those numbers came from. And there are departments that are up to 40% increase.
So just to let you know, on day one, I mean, I know that's going back quite a while, but on tab 6, I believe it was, and you probably don't have your budget books with you today. Okay, yes. On tab 6, that's where we went through department by department. And if you recall, we had several increases and we had several decreases, and this was based on budget from 17-18 to proposed 18-19, and the total net increase was $155,000.
Okay, so then,
So
this
with
is just what this came off the website. Okay,
This is what they asked for.
so this is all asked for, and
They didn't get it.
No, that sounds like that's from the CAFR, so, but what we were looking at under tab 6 is budget, and so I'm not sure if those are budget or actual numbers without looking at them.
I'm not either, and that's why I don't want to go into all this. So let me just take one, like, for example, 330, or 3,300, which was the biggest request for an increase. On here, there's no increase, or there, let's see.
So, what does it say their increase was?
Well, okay, so if you look at 3,300, the estimated actual for 17-18 was 460. The budget was,
754,003?
yes,
Okay, so that,
but on this CAFR, it shows a different number. It shows the budget was, hold on, God dog it, I highlighted it. It showed the budget amounts for 2016, 2017 off the CAFR was 409. From CAFR actuals was 337, but then the proposed of 975. So I'm trying to figure how the 754 number.
Brent, every year we've done the budget. We've taken the requested amount, we've taken the actual amount, and then we have furnished to the court a recommended amount based on our hours of studying their budget. The recommended amount for each one of these things is on page 6,
Yes, tab 6, yes.
which is $150,000 more. So you can throw away all that stuff because it has no bearing.
I might be able to answer the commissioner's question on this, because remember, 2 years ago, court administration had the jury portion of it. A year or so ago, we moved the jury function out of it and moved it to the district clerk, so it's 3510. So $600,000 of it was jury that was pulled out and moved somewhere else.
Right, and I remember that, and so that was the jump between the estimated actual in
Yes.
17 to the budget.
Yes.
And then on here, the request shows an actual decrease is what they're actually requesting and what y'all are recommending.
That's correct.
Okay, so all of this was proposed, but you gutted through it,
Yeah,
basically.
and when we went through each page, we tried to point out, we have a section in the back of your book, back of your budget book, that lists all the requests. And then we went back through and said, we can't do all those things, and we never have. The court never has done everything they've requested. And so this year, in order to try to hold this thing down and hold down our expenses, we've really pared down those requests to where you find whatever's on page 6 or whatever else it is. And that's the number that's on that page that says requested either reclassifications or new positions or something. Those numbers come out of a greatly reduced request number.
Right, so that when there's a reporting requirement, I would assume, is why they do that, or why you do this, there must be some reason that we post this proposed budget online, even though it hasn't been approved. I guess, is that part of just truth?
Comes out of the CAFR.
The proposed budget for this year hasn't been posted. That's probably last year's.
That's probably true. 17,
We don't have a budget for this
Yeah.
year.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
But we have recommendations.
Right, okay.
Under tab 6 or 5 or whatever else, and those recommendations are substantially less than the request. And you can go back in the back of the book, or in this big book, that we got everybody, and see where huge requests might have been made, and we may have cut it to 0.
Okay.
Okay?
Judge, can I ask you this?
Yes.
Do we have any kind of policy that we say you can't go over a certain percent of your budget? Or do we, the sky's the limit? I'm saying, do you have a policy that says you can't go over 20% of your budget?
No.
We have nothing, so we could raise it as high as they wanted to, and you'd have to approve it, of course.
No. They
No.
can request whatever they want.
They can request whatever they want, Carolyn.
Then we
Yeah.
approve it or don't approve it.
Yeah. If they request $1 million, good luck. But what we've done, and those of us who've been meeting, trying to get this to where we are, what we've done is looked at every line item, looked at every cost, historical cost spending, as well as requested spending, and our budget numbers, very mindful of the court wanting to hold the tax rate near the effective rate or something like that. So you could be county X, whatever, and request $1 million. Well, when it came to when it came to the court, it might be 0. Because we looked at that and said, there ain't no way you're gonna get $1 million. Now, in some instances, 150,000.
55,000,
Yeah.
yes.
We took a really hard look at where it takes for everyone to do their job correctly, and we made a few recommendations for people or something else, or classification changes. But just because, if you look at the page that says request total, it's millions of dollars. And I don't know where that is in the book. I don't have my book with me.
So on
Yeah.
page 6, the total department requests were 2,176,248, and so we pared that down to the 155.
Right.
1,155,000?
No, 2 million.
$155,000.
That was the request.
Let me see if I can pull it up for you.
Pull it up and see if you can look at it.
155.
And that's why we do what we do. We know that there are going to be a lot of requests that we can't meet. It's up to the elected or appointed official to make those requests on behalf of their team or whatever else, and they do that. And we have hearings for that. Remember, had 8 or 9 hearings where different ones, the DA requested X and different ones. And we took all that into consideration, but at the end of the day, we know we only have X amount of money. We have less than that the court probably will approve, and that's where we went from 2 million, whatever it is, down to $150,000.
On the screen now, Judge. The third column is where the requests were with 2,176,000. The one that says change the request is what the judge, Christian and I went through, and we reduced the request by 2,020,000 to only leave $155,000 pending,
Proposed,
proposed,
Of an increase.
of an increase.
and that's on that sheet
Yes.
Yeah.
that tells you how much our fund balance needs to be and different things. Okay? And I know this is confusing, particularly the first time around. It's the system, and it's not a perfect system, but somehow for 148 years, we managed to get there. 112, 158 years. Any other questions? Concerns? All right. Now, remember what we're doing today. We're setting a cap, we're proposing to set an upper cap to work against. This does not mean this is where we're going to end up. This means that based on the information this court got, you can go down, but you can't go up. So today, my motion is, and you put those numbers back up on the screen. I've got the motion here. Put the numbers for the various ones, please, back on the screen, Christian. Here we go. Motion number one. I propose a Nueces County tax rate of .316338 for the fiscal year ending 2018-2019. The proposed Nueces County tax rate exceeds the effective tax rate. I would now call for a record vote on the proposed maximum tax rate for Nueces County, this is general fund, total,
It's total.
all three funds, .316338. That's my motion. Do I have a second?
I know I'm gonna ask this again, Judge, but,
Second.
Thank you very much. We have a second. Any other discussion?
okay, so how much are we actually talking in cents or whatever?
.008,034
So that's 3 cents or 3 and a half?
Less than a penny.
of the effective rate.
It goes from 316,338,300088. That's the motion. I have a second. I'm going to call the roll. The county judge will vote first. Aye. Commissioner Wards.
Aye.
Commissioner Vaughn.
No.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
This is not gonna be the final one though, right?
Well, I hope not, but it's the maximum rate. Aye. Commissioner Chesney.
No.
Motion passes 3-2. 3-2. Record the vote. My second motion is to propose a Nueces County Hospital District tax rate of .117672 for the fiscal year ending 2018-2019, which is the effective tax rate for the fiscal year 2018-2019. Because there is no proposed tax increase for the hospital district, we do not require a record vote. So what do we vote? Just aye or no?
Yes.
Call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Motion number 3, authorize publishing appropriate notice in the newspaper for the proposed increase in tax rate for Nueces County for fiscal year 2018-2019, and scheduling the 2 public hearings as required. Do I have to have a record vote on authorizing the publishing of the appropriate rate?
Go ahead and do it, but
If I don't have to have it, I won't call a record vote. It's,
What's the vote again? Tell me.
we're voting, put it in the paper.
go ahead and take a record vote.
Record vote? All right, county judge votes aye. Commissioner Chesney,
And this is just to put it in the paper.
Yes.
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez, Commissioner March,
Aye.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Aye.
Record vote is 5-0. We have now established a maximum Nueces County tax rate of for discussion purposes moving forward and for publication in the paper, .316338, a hospital district rate of effective tax rate of .117672. I don't know of any other motions that we need to make, right? This gets us off the hook and gets us in the paper, and you can begin to work. Now, our next regular scheduled meeting is when?
Our next Commissioners Court meeting is next Wednesday, August 22nd.
All right? And
That-
then our workshop on the budget is the 27th, which
Correct.
is Monday, and that will be an action workshop.
Yes.
That means we're going to start voting on the 27th,
Monday, the 27th at 9:30 will be a budget workshop, yes.
an action
The
workshop.
public hearing?
Yes, an action workshop, yes.
Okay.
And then August 28th will be the first public hearing on the tax increase,
There's one.
There has to be one.
because the proposed,
Right.
yes.
That's right, because it's proposed. You're right.
Yes. And then the second hearing will be on September 6th.
Thank you. Anything else? I want to thank everybody for their hard work and diligence getting here. We have a lot of work still to do, but this gets us off the dime and lets us move forward. We're adjourned.
What time did you say? August?
Mic is off.